Alright everybody, and welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be doing a repair on the Lemax 2021 Evil Spirits Whiskey Distillery. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so the Whiskey Distillery, this is a brand new piece from the Lemax Spooky Town 2021 line. It's honestly the most expensive one as well, but it's really cool. I believe this was like a contest winner. Someone designed this and they chose this one, which was obviously a great choice because it is a killer house. And I cannot wait to do a review on this one, but there's something holding that up, and that's what today's video is all about. So, with that said, I ordered this online from Michael's because it was not carried in store. And, with stock being the way it was, it took, a little bit to finally find it, when it was in stock, catch it at the right time. Ordered it, and it showed up not in the perfect condition, we'll say. So, what are the issues? We'll start with the smaller issues and work our way up. There's a couple things going on. The first and foremost is these little pieces are broken off, which isn't too big of a deal. We have a barrel that goes in the left corner there, and then one of the, little flame top things that goes up here on that little blinking light there. That's easy stuff, just a little bit of glue, no problem. But the bigger issue, and it's a common issue from what I've seen in the groups, is the ghosts. They are not spinning smoothly. They're stop, go, jerky, working sometimes, maybe not all the time, that kind of thing. And that, that's annoying, especially when you're paying as much as you are for this piece. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at today. And I do want to note that I did contact Michael's and they offered me a refund if I wanted to return it, but they had no more, so they could not exchange it. They told me if I wanted to keep it, that they would give me a few dollars back in a coupon. And the truth was, I probably should have just got my money back because it was so expensive, but I thought it would be a great opportunity for a repair video since other people seem to be having this issue as well. I have yet to work on any of the 2021 stuff, so we're going to be learning on this one together. So with that said, let's dive in. Okay, so I want to start by showing you the tools that I'm going to be using today. I want to do something a little bit different. A lot of people are a little hesitant on working on these houses, and I understand why. They're delicate and all that kind of stuff. But I do want to show you that it really doesn't take too much to open these up and, start fooling around a little bit. Obviously risk and reward, you don't want to damage it, but, or make the problem worse rather, but it's worth giving it a shot. So to do that, I wanted to show you, you don't have to have a fancy toolbox with all the special gadgets. You can do it just with some basic tools found at dollar store for a few bucks. So with that said, I purchased a few different tools, and I'm not sure exactly which ones we're going to need, so I bought a couple extras here. But what we got here is left to right is going to be a pair of needle nose, a pair of screwdrivers, both Phillips and flathead, and then we have some glue, and then what I'm going to use as a pry tool, I believe there's a proper name for that, I forget it at the moment, and then I also got a pack of little screwdrivers. Those are really important when you're working on Lemax stuff because there's a lot of really tiny screws. And then I got like a multi-purpose screwdriver. So I don't think we're going to need all these tools today, but for a few bucks, have them on hand because you never know when you're in a tight squeeze and you just need to get something, like half a centimeter further and you just can't reach. Some of these tools can make all the difference. So with that said, let's get started. Okay, so I have flipped the house upside down, I have unplugged it and removed the ghost wheel, and I think this is probably going to be our best start for getting into the house. Most houses you get into from the bottom, and I'm hoping that will be the same. So, as you can see, there's no obvious screws, but usually under these little black circles, the little feet, is where they hide the screws. So, I am going to pop those off and see if there's some screws there, and if there is, I will remove them and then catch right back up with you. Okay, so as expected, I popped those little feet off. Very simple. I took that little tiny screwdriver right there that came in our kit, and I just kind of stuck it in there right under the little feet, and they popped right out. They're basically just stickers, thick stickers, basically. And look, our screws are all there. So there's a few different screws here. I'm going to take them off, and then we will continue on. Okay, so I did pop off those screws on the bottom, but the reason you're looking at the back is because when you go to pull out the base, it looks like the bottles and stuff in the front all would have to come apart to get the base off. But I noticed, just like on some of the other plastic houses, you can pop off the backs of them. So for instance, like this panel here, I just kind of ran my screwdriver in little increments and kind of loosened the glue. You can also use your little pry tool a little bit. It'll come right off. There's really not much glue there. And then that leaves us with the perfect exposure. That is exactly what we were looking for. So it ended up being better than actually taking the base off. I'm glad we didn't have to do that because it looked like it would have been a mess. So let me take a look around here, see what's causing the, stuttering, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I think this is probably about the best we're gonna get it. It's a lot smoother than it was. Hopefully it's coming across on the video. I'm trying to hold the camera here still enough so you can see it, but it's definitely a lot better than it was. So what did I find? So it looked to me like there's a couple different things going on. I ended up having to, while I was holding that little white piece back where all the gears are, I popped off a couple of the bottom screws, and when I was kind of pulling it back a little bit, because I don't want to take it off because it would knock out of place everything else, it looked like that the gear just needed to be cleaned a little bit. But even the bigger problem, which is probably what's causing the last of this little stuttering, which is barely there now, I think it's just like when they put it together, maybe the mold, if you will, whatever, it looks like the gears are sitting just a little too close together. They're just not quite sitting perfectly, so that's causing a little bit of the stutter, but so is some of the little dust or whatever it was that was in there. And also I used a little WD-40 just to kind of grease it up a little bit as well to kind of help smooth it out if I could. I think a can of air would have been great. I didn't have that at the moment. Probably would have helped get the last of whatever else was kind of in there. That does happen from time to time where there's like just little pieces of molding kind of left over that get caught up in the gears and things like that. So like I said, to wrap this portion up, there's two things going on. One, clean out the gear, use a can of air if you can. I didn't have one today. And then add a little bit of grease. WD-40 will work great. And then, when you put it back together, I also found that, playing a little bit with the tension on the two bottom screws made a little bit of a difference because it kind of stopped the, how do you say, because the gears are kind of bouncing around a little bit. So you need to kind of back them out a little bit. I snugged more to the right side than I did the left, and you kind of just fill it out, and eventually you kind of find a happy medium. Again, it's not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was. I tried to capture some footage here at the beginning, but when I was just letting it run initially, it was going basically to a dead stop. It would jerk back to a dead stop, and it would go for a second and then stop again. So this is a tremendous difference, and this is more than good enough for displaying it. I don't think, you could really fix where the gears are set. And to sit and try a bunch of different gears is probably more trouble than it's worth. So, to get it to a display point, I think we've gotten that. I'm happy with it. I can't change where the gears are sitting. It's a plastic mold. They have certain spots they got to sit in. So, it just could have probably been done a little bit better, or maybe just kept track of a little bit better. I know this has been a huge common issue, and not having a stock to replace it has been even a bigger problem. So you got to kind of make do with what you got. And this seemed to make a big difference for me. So, I'm trying to explain it the best I can for you. So again, you want to clean out the little gears there. You want to, blow them out if you can. Add in some WD-40, and then just be careful when you're tightening the two screws. I found that, tightening to the right a little bit seemed to help a little bit more on mine, and loosening the left side a little bit seemed to help. So I'm sure it's going to be a little bit different for everybody that attempts this, but overall, it's definitely 10 times better than it was. It's pretty much back to probably what you would get if you got a perfect one, within reason. So with that said, we're going to move on now. I'm just going to put a little glue on the back and pop that little plastic piece back in, and then we will go ahead and finish the last of the couple pieces we got to glue on, and then it should be good to go. Okay, so we're all back up and running. I have glued both barrels on, and of course the little flame. I did go ahead off camera and just put the base back on and put the little sticky pads back on. That's real easy. I didn't think I needed to show that. Just pop in each screw and then go back and just press in the little feet, and it all goes back together just fine. So we have got our ghost running, we have got our barrels back in place, our flame in place, and I think, overall, all things considered, the discount for keeping it, all that kind of stuff, I think it'll have, a long life, and I think it'd be beautiful in the display this year, so I'm looking forward to doing that. Just a couple tips I wanted to say as well. The ghost, when you put them in the back, that they kind of slide in on the bar, if you let them hang out just a hair, helps a little bit with the clearance from it hitting the base when they get real low back there. And also the little ghost here, the little skeleton guys here, I noticed on mine they're glued slightly crooked and the hands tend to hit a little bit. Not a big deal. If it ever became a real issue, you could literally just pop them off with a little heat or something like that and reglue them into a better position. But so far mine are working. The hand hits a little bit, but that was already doing that, but it still seems to be just fine. I don't think there's a reason to mess with it, but that would be an easy fix if it ever did become a problem. So all in all, I'm happy with it. It seemed to work out. I hope this video helps you as well. I know I couldn't exactly show the best footage, but it was real difficult because such a tight, small area back there. Overall, I think, you know, if you have one of these and you're keeping it the way that it was, this would be something good to consider, and it worked out well. So with all that being said, guys, I hope this helps. Thank you so much for all of your support, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.